Hello everyone and welcome back to Sparrows here on Roll for Chaos. Last time we left off, wow, Lefe pulling some sweet moves, keeping the ship from just being blown apart by this massive object moving through an asteroid field. Some giant metal object of some kind, which we'll discover what it was here shortly. But in the meantime, everybody else made some rolls, and there are going to be some outcomes from those rolls, unfortunately. Amos, so you were down there counting food and looking into the boxes and figuring things out. And based on what you've discovered, based on what the average consumption of most individuals on the ship is, you, of course, having one of the largest appetites, second only to maybe Lefe and Carrot, have determined that you have about 6 weeks of food, maybe 10 weeks if you stretch it by rationing, left under the best circumstances. As you are looking at that food, suddenly it starts floating, and then you find that you're not able to touch the floor anymore as the ceiling comes at you at a breakneck pace. Roll tough to avoid damage. Boom! You smash into the ceiling and just kind of wedge yourself there. Then you just put your arm and push yourself off of it until you're in a standing position again, and you suddenly hear, Lefe would like you to know that there is something coming, and that there is some sort of radio signal where people are looking for us. And Carrot goes, crunch. Something in the distance. You hear Cullens off to the side go, oh no, I'm covered in lard. It's all over. I'm covered in lard. Oh no, I'm slipping. And you see him just squeak across the ceiling. And then you see Scarborough just thunk, smack, roll. He sits up, and you see like there's a splinter through his ear, like all the way through the. Oh god damn it! You hear the captain just bounce into something. What the hell? I'm trying to. Can anybody ever sleep around here? And B, you got a 5, so you're on the stairs on your way down. You see Amos, you see the ship's engine room and Red Iron off to your right, and then suddenly it's like the stairs don't exist anymore. Give me a tough roll to avoid any potential damage as well. Trying for a 14 or higher. Oh, you're gonna get hit.
Not so tough.
So we're gonna see where
Can I
you
argue with the
get
dirty 20?
What was that? She's pretty
Can I argue
far away. I will say, if you can tell me how you reach B in that moment, I'll give you a chance to roll. Because B is about 15 feet from you. Doyle did give B a re-roll, though, so we can wait on that first. And if it doesn't work this time, then we'll have Amos pull off a maneuver.
In exchange for some damage to lessen B's damage, they are going to use the weightlessness to bounce themselves off of something, however sinister, and literally just cannonball catch the kiddo.
All right. So with a 12, that's not high enough to avoid all damage, but I will say that, Amos, if you can get higher than an 8 on an agile roll, you will leap through the air and catch B. That is a 4.
I'm gonna use my ace.
All right, here goes an ace. Go ahead, Jackal, and reroll. That is a 3. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you're catching anybody yet. Of course, you do have your virtue, if you want to maybe use something like that.
I do,
or...
yeah. Wisdom says that so long as the child is in sight, the parent can do something, even at a cost to themselves. That means jumping over tables, plowing through guards, breaking windows to get to people who have fallen in wells.
True. I will give it to you. So go ahead and re-roll for me. Nice. All right.
If that doesn't do anything, I don't know what will.
This time Amos gets a 15. So you hit the ceiling, kind of push yourself off, shove with one arm out, twisting through the air, and you grab a hold of B with your tail and then pull her in and grab a hold of her before tucking and rolling to the floor. Nobody takes damage.
B just wraps her arms as tightly as she can around Amos's neck. Thank you.
Red Iron, from the moment that you had the holes patched by Sylvia, where did you head?
I feel like Red Iron would have still been in that same room inspecting the work and making sure that everything was okay.
Okay.
Because it's a whole mess what Sylvia did.
So you're looking very closely, making sure that there's not even a minuscule potential breach in the hull. And suddenly the wall comes at you, and you start scraping up it. Your third arm is just creating sparks and things like that. Roll tough to avoid potential damage.
Heck.
14, nice. That is high enough
I'm a
to
tough
avoid
boy.
damage. So you like scrape up along it and kind of shove to the side, and you can hear Grandfather Archimedes' voice. Lefe would like you to know that there are people looking for us, and that something is here.
Timely as always, Grandfather.
Thank you. I try my best.
That is so out of character for you.
As you turn, you see something else flying through the air from way back down the hall. As Barnabas is like flipping end over end through the hallway.
No, Barnabas. Red will grab their third arm and just like huck it at Barnabas for the save.
Give me a PDO attack roll to see if you can reach Barnabas before poor Barnabas slams into a wall or something.
That's an O roll, right?
Yes. Oh, this would be yours actually on your main sheet. So the PDO close. You can use a PDO close for that.
Oh, okay, thanks.
That's gonna be a miss. 12 or higher.
I got a leftover ace. We gotta save Barnabas. Save Barnabas.
There goes another ace. Go ahead and roll. That's only a 9 again.
Same thing.
Same
Barnabas
roll.
Barnabas ain't worth 2 aces.
Barnabas flips end over end through the hallway into the front part of the station, into the large, whatever those are called, the huge beam of wood that goes down through the main section of the hole. It goes right across the middle. Yes, he is. Hey, Doyle says, and Agilmech says, Ben, you got 2 aces coming at you.
My. Okay, all right, 2 for Barnabas.
2 for
All right.
Barnabas.
Coming
Yes,
up to you,
he
Barnabas.
is. Nope,
That's a 4,
not
so we're
it.
gonna use that second one.
And that's a 17. All right. So your arm flings out. Explain to me how you were able to catch it with your third arm and make it safe. How does that happen?
So the third arm like flies out like straight and then like extends the little grabber, snatches Barnabas, and then like really quickly tucks Barnabas into the storage slot.
Your dustbin.
And then just sort of like and then collapses in on itself into like a little ball and just like bounce into a corner.
So it bounces and dings and rolls around and then comes to a stop. And inside you can just hear Barnabas.
I'm just imagining Looney Tunes sound effects as this thing goes ding, boing, bonk.
Totally. So
Maybe the sound of pins striking.
Definitely.
as all of this madness happens, the captain, like, what in the world was... He pushes his hand on the side of the console nearby and calls up to the main deck to Lefe.
Lefe, what was that? What just happened?
Oh, Cap, a big asteroid, it seemed, flew over top the ship. Steered us out of the way, but
Asteroid? Was it moving fast or something? It's knocked all of us out of our beds, damn it.
it would have knocked us out of a whole lot more.
So Lefe, give me an aware roll as you're standing up on deck now. This is a visual aware roll. As you look at this huge object moving past, let's see if you identify it or what it could be. That is a 14.
14.
So with a 14, you can see that there's a large conical metal dome and a ship like in the center behind it, much smaller, that is moving through this very, very quickly. So you immediately get the impression that like an icebreaker in the Arctic, this is a small tug moving through all of these asteroids, pushing them aside and things to search for whatever it is they're looking for. The group that were calling out to you, that you had intercepted the comms chatter from, this seems to be them. They have not
Cap,
yet
it
noticed
seems
you.
the people. Cap, it seems we got company.
Company. I guess I'll get into my nice slippers then and come up on top deck. All right, hold on.
You see the captain down below looks over as you're pulling Barnabas out of your tray, red iron. Aren't you supposed to be the engine room, figuring out what we got supply-wise for the thing and the whatever? You can tell that he's really tired looking.
I decided to prioritize ensuring that we do not suffer catastrophic depressurization in the lower decks. Should there be an impact, Captain?
It probably a good. You know what you're doing. You just keep doing the things that keep us all alive. Yeah,
Captain, you don't seem of sorts lately, and I don't say that lightly.
Well, we've been through a whole hell of a lot. It's been almost 24 hours since any of us slept.
Perhaps you should leave this up to Captain Captain Amos.
No, I probably shouldn't. All right, I'm gonna head on up to the top. You just do your thing. I'm gonna grab a coffee. Why is there coffee all over the floor?
That would have to do with the asteroid that nearly hit us, Captain.
Right. Hi, Carrot. You see the captain just kind of walk by. Carrot's tail sticking out of like a barrel.
Yeah, Carrot.
Yes.
What's in that barrel?
It used to be full of grapes.
All right, stay there.
Now it's full of nothing.
That's fine. Just keep an eye on the barrel full of nothing, please.
These grapes are really sour and tangy, and they made my throat burn.
That means they're working.
Okay, good. All right, I'll just stay right here. Don't mind me. So we move over. Amos and B. So B, you were coming down to do something, and Amos caught you as you almost fell to your doom as you were heading towards a head injury if he hadn't captured you from the fall. What do you do?
Well, after she recovers at least some composure, she releases his neck. Thank you so much, Amos. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there.
Right. What are you doing down here? Are you hurt? Are you harmed? Should we get you to medical? Do they have 5 limbs or 6?
I'm just fine. I'm not hurt at all, thanks to you. I just had to do something really quickly for Zep, and I haven't peed in a long time, so I kind of need to.
Zep, what do you need?
You can't actually hear or speak to Zep.
Well, Amos is talking to B about Zep, not Zep about Zep.
Right.
He needed something in the engine room. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but he said that if he had it, that he could help us find more food so that it would be easier to get back to civilization.
Go do the restroom thing. I'll what do you need?
I need the littlest, teeniest, tiniest crystal. Just little one.
You mean the Aether crystals?
Yeah.
Concentrated jet fuel. Got it.
Amos stares at her for a moment, just 2 orange eyes piercing into her soul.
And B just smiles right back.
There's a period of silence. All right, sure. If you need it to work, we work. Let's go.
All right, thank you.
Amos and B walk
Yeah.
over towards the engine room where this energy source is kept. As you step inside of it, you see this large, well, what used to be Sylvia kind of splayed out into a whole bunch of almost tendrily looking metal bits going all throughout the room. And you see the energy, the box that cases all the crystals, like sitting off to the side with a whole bunch of little siphons attached to it from the metal components coming off of the engine.
Sylvia, you're beautiful.
Why, thank you.
This isn't good.
I hate to disturb you because I know you're very busy, but if I could have just the smallest sliver of one of those crystals, I need to give it to Zep so that he can help us find more food.
You need an energy source. I was
Yes.
told not to access these without permission. Do you have
Amos
permission
said I
of
could
it?
do it.
I did say she could do it.
Now, I have been told that Amos is also a captain, and as I do not know exactly how this argument works, I will have to admit that this should be acceptable for the moment.
And you see the box just kind of quick open, and you see a couple of gemstones just lifted up on a little metal tray.
Well, I'll pick up one.
Let me.
As you go to grab it, by the way, you have Zep nearby say, not with your hands. Gloves, tongs, don't just grab it directly.
And she looks around for some gloves.
There's a couple of heavy leather pairs nearby. There's also a lot of little tools and things that Red Iron keeps to use and work in this area.
B likes the idea of big, heavy leather gloves, so she'll get a pair.
You put those on, they come all the way up above your elbow, and they're like...
Perfect. And she reaches over and picks up one and offers it to Zep.
As you pick it up... Uh-oh, we've lost somebody. Hopefully you'll be back in just a second. In the meantime... Can I do that? Kind of. Alright. I have a transition we can use for the moment until Kai comes back. So, you grab a hold of that, you lift it up towards Zep, and as you're holding it, give me a magical roll. Here we go with magic. You got an 8.
You know, I've got a few aces, so I'm going to go ahead and use an ace and see if I can get a little higher.
Okay. Looks like he's returned. Excellent. All right, you got a 6. That's not better than 8, unfortunately.
That was not better. That was not better. No.
So, you get a strange, like, buzzy sensation as you're holding this, even with the glove on. You can see, like, little rainbow energy kind of floating around the tip of the glove and whatnot. There's an ace from Agile Mech over to B. You can try one more magical. I have a bug bite on the back of my hand. It's driving me nuts. All right. That is a 13.
Better.
That is much better. So you lift it up, and you can feel the concentrated energy within it. And you're able to siphon that off to Zep a little bit better. Zep, there nearby, nothing but a little wind gust, starts to...
Yes, excellent. Thank you, B. Now, if you'll just come with me up to the deck of this ship, we will search for what we are looking for. Something that will help everyone, of course.
As you're standing there, Amos and B grabs this gemstone and kind of looks at it. You see this glint green flash in her eyes for a second. Then she lifts it forward. Some sort of little wind current just starts moving around for a second. And you get the very slightest, like you could see the outline almost Predator style of something in the room with you that then kind of disappears.
I'm gonna roll brains for no apparent reason.
That's a 9. That's not great.
Maybe
Maybe you saw something.
how long was I awake?
So far,
what was?
you've been awake 22 hours right now. So, Amos and B start moving up towards the main deck. Clarion, from where you're at, you've been resting. Your recharge, ding, finishes.
Then she's immediately off to check the crew for injuries and probably find Scarborough with the wood through his ear.
Yeah, you wake up and Scarborough's standing there with his hands on his hips, as a matter of fact. It's about time. I didn't know how long it were going to be, so I just thought I'd stand here and bleed all over the floor. You see big ol'...
Please, next time there's an emergency wake button right here. And she shows him underneath her apron.
No. I wouldn't want to be rude.
Well, in that respect, you are better than certain new crew members.
Of
Let
course.
me see to your ear.
All right. I'm sure it's not a big deal or anything. When it comes down to the brass tacks, I'm one of the strongest members of the crew out here. You know, something like this, just a little thorn through the ear, no big deal, right? So go ahead and give me a brains roll.
Yes, of course you are, Scarborough.
7. You're gonna pull that out a little roughly with a 7. You good with that?
No, I would like to treat him better than that, please.
How would you like to? Using an ace, all right. So go ahead and give it another roll. Critical failure.
No.
Do you wish to cause a problem or have something interrupt you?
I'd rather have an interruption.
Okay. So, with an interruption, give me a magical roll. Oh! Adramak gave you an ace, so maybe not. Maybe not yet. That is a 12. That is better. So you're able to pull the large piece, chunk of wood, as it were, size of like a butter knife, out of the side of Scarborough's ear. As you just kind of draw and then keep pulling, you see him like staring at you, and his eyes get a little wider, and you see the tip of his nose go from pink to white, and his ears kind of start to turn slightly white. And he goes, "I didn't know it was that big." And you see him just faint on you.
I'll lift him up into one of the beds, give him a bit of a painkiller, dress his wound.
All right. So we see Clarion working yet again after all of this on another crew member, just in time.
As long as the wound stays clean, it should heal fine. It's just a matter of not aggravating it. And well, Void knows we've been doing a lot of aggravating.
Then you smell it before you see it. Something reminiscent of like French fries and oil like assaults your nose or your olfactory senses as the door opens up and you have something splatters into the room nearby, and you see Cullen step in and you see him like dripping with white goop, and you see a large like contusion on his head where he's bleeding down into it as he had smacked his head into the side of the post downstairs. I got an ouch and I'm covered in lard.
Please sit down.
Yes, okay. I'm sorry about the mess. You see him just like move over into the chair, and as he sits, I have to roll agile. And he slides a little bit, and then like catches onto a pole nearby, and you see just like stuff splatter everywhere.
I was thinking that he should sit on the bed, but yes, yeah. Let's treat this new and interesting injury.
How do you wish to go about this?
I'm gonna clean off the wounded area first and ask him if anywhere else feels wounded, and basically treat the. B is pointing to her elbow.
So Cullen's turns to you, and you ask him if anywhere else is wounded, and he goes, "Kind of my pride. I was just supposed to be cleaning, and suddenly just, and I should be used to it. Leife flying is like that sometimes, but I mean, I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's." You see him like lull his head back, and suddenly he just slumps onto the bed.
Oh my. Do I detect signs of blood loss?
Give us one more aware roll in this case. 14. Quick thinking, you move over to him and you immediately check his pupil dilation and you check the injury. He has a concussion and has passed out.
That's not good. Carrot, I need Carrot's help, please.
Carrot, so you're gonna call with the radio down to where Carrot's at. Red Iron, radio comes over and Clarion asks for Carrot's assistance. You're the nearest to the radio to respond.
Red Iron grabs the radio.
Carrot is busy watching an empty barrel.
I would like his help keeping a concussion victim awake.
Oh. Hey, Carrot, I have another job for you.
Another job? That's wonderful. Can you get me out of this barrel? I appear to be stuck. And, you know,
Red just grabs Carrot's tail and just yoink.
Just lifting him up. You see Carrot, like, bend his back all the way back so he can stare at you while hanging from his tail.
Go to medical and tell Collins a very long story.
I can do that. Not a problem. Yes. And you see, like, Carrot's legs start squirming like, in the air.
Red just kind of eventually throws him vaguely in the direction of the door.
Within just a couple of seconds, the door, like, bangs open again and Carrot runs in off the ceiling and then, like, stands over top of you on the wall, turning the head upside down. Yeah, I'm supposed to be helping you. And him.
Good. When he's awake, Carrot, I would like you to find some way to keep him engaged. And Clarion is working on trying to wake him back up.
All right, give me a brains roll to do one more medicine roll here with Cullens. That is a 17. Smelling salts, pop him back up for a second. Carrot begins to berate him a little bit and then tell him random stories that immediately tangent off every second or two. So it's really hard to pay attention, but it's also really hard not to see where this is going. And you proceed to work on Cullens and try to patch the wound and remove pressure and all that kind of stuff. So with a 17, you will be successful, but there will need to be a resting period with this individual.
Of course.
I think like everybody on the ship at this point needs a long nap. So
while I have him, I'm going to check on his hand and see if there's anything that I can adjust there.
give me an aware roll on this one. That is a 14. So what are you looking to adjust with it?
Just trying to figure out like what specifically is making it twitch and if I can like maybe dial down the sensitivity or anything.
Yeah. It does have what basically would be the sensitivity wound super tight. So you relax that a bit and then minor muscle spasms and things shouldn't cause it to work the same way it does now. So while working on him, keeping an eye on Cullens, you fix the hand and Cullens will be vastly better off than before. That did cost you a scrap, if you have one, to do those types of fixes on his hand, though. If you don't have one, I'm sure you can take it from the ship. Red Iron looks at me.
I don't think I had scrap in my inventory, but yeah.
Okay, it'll only cost one, so there is some of that would be kept not just in the engine room, but some would be kept up here as well. So if you will remove one scrap from the ship's inventory, Red Iron, excellent. And we now move up to the deck once more. Amos, you have gone with B up in that direction. Leifei, you were on the deck too. So we're going to start back with you first, Leifei. You have recognized that this is the breaker ship that is coming through the asteroids, that is looking for all of you. What do you do while you're waiting for the captain and everybody else? They haven't hailed you yet, they haven't noticed you yet, but you know it's probably only a matter of time.
He's going to start moving the ship slowly off to be like an asteroid in the way.
So you're going to hide the ship.
Yeah.
Give me an aware roll to find the best and optimal hiding location.
Certainly.
Nice, 19. You're able to find a section where you can pull into this grooved area of a large asteroid where you can see out, but you recognize it would be incredibly hard to see in and see all of you. So you're able to keep an eye on this thing while keeping yourself stationary and out of the line of sight. So when you move into there, you suddenly hear from the radio comms.
Leifei, I have scanned that ship within close proximity. There are only 2 life forms aboard.
Oh, that's. Thank you. Are they? Can you tell if they're big?
They appear to be roughly your size, but wider and slightly shorter. I would say averaging between 4 and 5 feet tall and about 180 pounds.
Thank you for the information.
Of course.
And off to
Do
the
you know where
side.
the captain is?
What's that? Oh, where the captain is?
The captain is currently coming up the staircase.
Behind you and on the deck, you see a miner standing down there who's looking around, and he like seems to see you like move the ship and hide out of the way, and you recognize him strike a flare. Hey, over here! He throws it out into the void, trying to flag down whatever that ship is.
Oh wait, my man, what are you doing?
What am I doing? You took me hostage. I'm on. Look. I don't. I'm fine. I'm right here. I'm gonna sit down, right in this spot, and that there, asteroid breaker is gonna come over here and escort me back home. That's what's gonna happen. Don't you try to pull anything funny. And you see him like reach down, and he grabs a hold of a revolver from downstairs. Seems to have gotten a hold of the captain's.
I see. And this flare's already gone, right?
It's flying through the air right now, heading out into the void. It's about
It's
20 feet away.
Far away.
Yeah. It's about, like I said, about 20 feet away at the moment. It's going, it's about 10 feet every second or so.
This is before Amos appears, right?
Yeah. Leifei's up on the deck by himself right now.
Gotcha.
I believe there's a way that most anybody can control a light amount of Aether, isn't that correct?
That is true. That is chaos magic.
Can I try to do that to come on in?
You're gonna use time and space magic, try to just bring it back to you? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a magical roll. In order to be successful, the higher the roll, the better. If you get a natural 5 or lower, we will be rolling on the chaos table. So, first chaos roll that Leifei's ever done. Go for it. Nat 20. Leifei, 2 choices. Something that benefits you or those around you. In the case of the one that benefits you, would you like to have an easier time manipulating space magic, which is what you just did to draw this object towards you in the future, giving you a +1 to all space magic rolls for the remainder of this season? Or would you like to have created some sort of distraction with this effect that draws the breaker off from you?
Oh man, being able to use the Force more easily would be sick. But, Leifei knows the Force.
All right, so on your notes section on the last tab, write down +1 to all space Aether magic rolls. And you will have that permanently. So, what does this look like as Leifei gathers it? Describe it in any way you would want. Space magic can move things, or like the Force does, or it can teleport things, that kind of thing.
The item that he is essentially putting a hand out to begins to grow wings and fly back to him. Insectoid wings.
So little Aether-based insectoid wings come out of this flare and then fly over to Ed or to you?
To me.
Okay. So, and then you just catch it. Now you're holding this flare. You just smother it in a bucket nearby. He looks over at you and goes, well, nice try.
Can you drop my captain's pistol?
Yeah. And he just rattles across the deck as he kind of steps away from it.
Thank you. I'm sure, and this is it's first for most people being aboard a pirate ship. But I'm sure you'll enjoy it now that I've seen that you're willing to get things done.
Okay. I'm just gonna. You see him like kind of kick his feet, put his arms behind his back, and just kind of walk, and watching you to the side, and then he goes down into the hold again. And at that point, as Ed is going down the stairs, Amos, the captain, and B come walking up onto the deck. Ed just kind of nods at all of you. Hi, and then down the stairs. You see Leifei standing up above, holding a smoldering flare. Whoa. He's acting weird.
Oh, the miner? Yeah, he is.
All right, what do we got here? Leifei, show me what's up. You can see him climb up next to you at the helm.
There's a breaker over there. The miner pointed out for me.
That's an Empire ship. Have we been spotted, you think? Did they say anything on chatter?
Yeah. Like I said down earlier, they seem to be looking around for something magical. That's probably us.
I would assume as much. If they're seeking out some sort of magic signal, they've probably got a device to do it. I would assume they just know the general vicinity. So if we stay out of sight, eventually they'll turn around and head back. We can follow them back to their base.
It's true. As well. Still trying to get used to the names. Sylvia,
yeah.
she was saying there's 2 of them on board. Just 2.
Only 2? Captain, we could have a second ship.
Who's gonna pilot it?
We'll figure that out.
Sylvia.
Admiral Cal wants us to get loot.
True. I mean, we could attack them, take their ship, see if there's anything on board. Or we could follow them back to their base, raid the compound. I mean, kind of far out. We don't know how big this is, though. And if we take them out now, and they happen to get off a call for reinforcements, and they happen to have a armada nearby, I think, from a captain's perspective, it'd be better if we found out what we were fighting against before we went and jumped into a battle we can't handle.
I guess. I mean, that's kind of boring, though, and there are only 2 of them in there. We can definitely overpower 2.
Well, I understand
Especially...
that. Shouldn't be... Yes, Amos?
No, I think Captain's right here. Got to play the long game.
What if we're fast?
Okay.
Well, if you're fast,
If
then
we're
still,
fast enough.
if you're fast enough, they can't get the alarm off. Sure. But when the outpost recognizes a ship's gone missing that's already searching for us, what happens then?
Fair.
It's true. Let's, upon your order, I'd say we follow them.
Yeah, I think we should try not to take any more crazy maneuvers. The rest of the crew, we really need to get you all sleeping. We need to get you rested up. We need to get ready for another fight if that's what happens. So Leifei, set a
Clarion
course.
sticks your head out of a porthole and says, "I vociferously agree, Captain."
Doctor's orders, everybody. Rest time, all right? Things have been kind of crazy for a little bit. So, Leifei, plot a secure course, a safe, distant course, keeping an eye on that ship. We'll follow it once it gets done with this whole rounds. I'm assuming it's just going to spin around, come on back to base when they can't find us. So, then we'll identify that. I know that we're pretty far out. Amos, what'd you find out about supplies?
We got about 5 weeks less than we can use in optimal conditions if we're really going to go anywhere. You said it was 15 weeks till we get somewhere, right?
Based on what B said, nearest civilian outpost is far away. But then again, these guys probably have supplies. Unless anybody has a better idea. Zep off to the side B is like looking at you.
I might be able to find something. I mean, this asteroid field, it could have been a planet at one point, so maybe there are like ancient bases and things. We could find one and maybe resupply off that.
True. How do you intend on finding that, though?
I've got my ways.
Well,
I've told you about Zep, Captain. He can help us.
yeah, your imaginary, I mean, your friend, of course. Well, if Zep
Yeah.
comes up with something, just let us know. He pats you on the head. In the meantime, we can't look a gift horse in the gift horse in the mouse. We can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So, Leifei, like I said, keep on him. Don't get us noticed. We're gonna run as quiet as we can. He goes over to the comms and calls down to Red Iron at that point.
Red Iron. Red Iron. Hey.
We who's
This
which
is
machine is talking to me right now?
Captain Cutlass.
Okay, yeah, yes, Captain.
So, is there any way you can reduce our energy signature? Turn down the engines, bring the lights down, make sure anything that glows on the ship doesn't glow, turn off our little whirly-doos on the side, whatever it is that we can do to make us have as quiet and stealthy a profile as possible.
I was just thinking I'm going to need to downcycle the engine for some pretty serious repairs.
It's a good time for that. We're going to be following somebody. We don't want to get noticed.
Oh, okay. I can do my best. I'm concerned about maneuverability, but let me try something. The whirly doos, those will have to stay. I'm sorry, Captain.
All right, well, whatever you can do. Thank you.
Then the captain comes back on to everybody else. Clarion, how's the crew's general health at this point?
Several of the crew are injured and need rest.
Okay. Rest, medicine, healing, stealth option, possibly helped by imaginary friends, alien space things taking over the ship, running out of food in the middle of nowhere. Sounds like a hell of an adventure. All right. What are we doing on fuel? Amos, did you happen to gather how much fuel we had left?
Amos was in the room examining the crystals.
You can give me
Does
a brains,
Amos know?
Give me a brains roll. We'll see if Amos knows. It's not that hard. You do know basically when the bin is full, it's full. So you're just estimating how much is left of the crystals. 20. All right, 2 options. Does Amos want to always be able to calculate the mathematical percentage of anything he looks at? Or would you like to be able to be inherently aware of magical sources of items, magical things, at a higher rate than usual, giving you a +2 to rolls?
As much as I like the concept of percentages, I believe that would only help in analytics. Amos, they are a creature of action. I will take the +2 to magical sensing rolls.
All right, so put on your notes +2 to magical senses. Whenever you have to make a roll where you're trying to determine if magic is nearby, if magic is happening, that kind of thing, you'll have a +2 to those rolls. So, Amos, you recognize that an exorbitant amount of energy was used to transport you here, and yet it doesn't seem to have impacted your fuel like it should have. Your fuel sources are still at like 95%, still nearly full. So whatever Sylvia did, it didn't use your energy to do that.
Captain, I think Sylvia has a backup battery.
Full of surprises. Well, all right, fine, whatever. What do our stocks look like? Are we doing okay on fuel?
Funny you should mention that. For being teleported halfway across the galaxy, we're at 90% fuel efficiency. That's to say, there's only 10% used.
Well, then we should be fine. We can travel on average, about 2 months, 3 months without any problems, low energy and all that. Okay. crew is injured. Chase these individuals down. Find a reliable fuel and food source if necessary. Fuel not a big a deal. All right, we got our plan. Everybody aware of what the plan is. Did I make myself clear? All right.
Yes, Captain.
Then I'm going to go take that well-needed nap that the doctor's ordered. And Lefe, when
sir,
you become...
your sidearm.
What the hell's my pistol doing on the deck? You see him just kind of walk over and grab it. What fool took my pistol? It's not even loaded. He puts it in his pocket. All right, fine. Nobody's gonna fess up. I'll figure it out later. And he turns and like walks downstairs. I'm going to sleep this time. Lefe, please, if you're gonna do any daring maneuvers, warn us ahead of time. Or maybe I should just get a belt for my cot. You see him just grumble as he walks down the stairwell.
Good night,
If I
Captain.
do something cool, I will tell you beforehand so you can see it.
You did do something cool when nobody saw, unfortunately. All right. So at this point, Red Iron, you're heading back to the engine room.
Red Iron actually seeing the captain run downstairs, upstairs,
Okay.
and goes straight to Amos. Captain,
Yes.
I think maybe we are following a ship, yes. And we have intention of eventually doing something to that ship. Am I correct?
Yes.
I think it would be. I am very excited to capture a ship, and am getting very impatient. And this is unrelated to the events of the last day. What if Captain Cutlass? That is his name. That's his name. Yes. What if Captain?
Yes.
What if he woke up and we had already captured the ship?
Technically, that count as insubordination. So unless, of course, you may or may not have a plan in order to enact this, I'm going to have to put you under arrest and restrain you to the table.
I do want to clarify one thing to everybody. The ship that's behind, that's part of the breaker, think of it as like a half-egg shaped huge thing in front of this really tiny tug that's moving beyond it. It's only like a four-person vessel.
right?
Just so
Yes. And we are going to follow that ship to a station. Yes.
That is the idea.
What? Maybe Sylvia would like her own ship. I think that sounds like a fun reward for all the help she's given us.
I am perfectly capable of accepting this ship.
And you can go on that one and not this one, right?
I am currently integrated with this ship. I feel a little bit disappointed that you would want me to leave, Red Iron, after all that we have been through.
No, it's part of a larger plan, I promise.
Part of the larger plan.
Yes, it's very important. What do you think, Captain?
Could be anybody. Could be anyone.
just says it to anybody there. What do you think, Captain? As Leife's there, and Amos is there, and B is there.
I
They just
have
himself. Just
mind and throw you off this ship.
So you don't want to take the little boat now and put Sylvia on it?
You're going to let me finish that remark.
Okay.
As far as I've been made aware, you have fused a Syl artifact to our ship's heart without notifying any of us, even under duress. I can overlook that. Barely. However, if I catch you pulling that off, I am going to make sure that whatever boat you return in has just enough life support remaining so you can think about what you did.
So you
Have I made myself clear?
don't like the idea then?
I do not like the idea, and I do not approve.
Okay. I just thought it would be nice to have Sylvia stretch her legs somewhere other than grandfather, but I get it.
I do not need to stretch my legs.
Can you remove her from the ship's engine?
Why would you wish
From
to
the
have me
ship.
removed?
Captain,
Sylvia is beautiful, and she's helping us right now.
she's being very helpful, and I just thought of another way that she could be put to use, and you have decided to disagree with that, and I do not wish to be
I have
insubordinate.
decided to hold the decision. This is a new crew member that has integrated herself very prominently without our permission onto our boat, without any prior knowledge of what she is and what she's capable of.
Yes, but she is a crew member, and she is important, right?
She has been nothing but insubordinate since all of this has begun, chalking up most of her decisions to self-preservation.
Well, then, to set a good example, I will follow your instructions, and we will pursue this no further, Captain.
I apologize.
I'm not
to all of you
saying I
aboard
don't
this
like the
ship.
plan, Red
Sylvia
Iron.
broadcasts
I am just saying
herself to
is a
everybody
bad
on
idea.
board the ship right now. As you were talking, her voice comes over to everybody in every position on the ship.
I am sorry to make you all aware of this. However, I will not be able to monitor your conversations when speaking with me or about anything on the ship for some time. I am receiving a transmission that is of utmost importance and will return later.
And then Sylvia's voice just seems to cut out.
What? I believe that I can remove her from the ship if we can convince her to leave voluntarily. I thought perhaps if she felt like she was involved, she would want to do this.
Being a part of this ship requires trust. I don't trust her or
Right.
her.
I want to get her off of the damn ship, Captain. You can hear Archimedes, you can hear Grandfather, right? Can you hear and you can hear Barnabas, yes?
I hear the creaks. I hear the sound of their springs. I hear them shift with each Aetherian sound.
Mm-hmm.
I simply do not trust a middleman.
Hold on, let me demonstrate.
We can
Grandfather.
talk directly to them now.
Grandfather, how are you feeling right now? Grandfather, how are you feeling?
Tuesday, 1486. It was burning. Quiet, 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 quiet.
There. Did you hear that?
Nobody else hears that.
Did you hear that? Grandfather, Archimedes.
Wait. So Archimedes and Barnabas are really just Sylvia?
I was very excited for you to hear what I hear, but that is not Grandfather's voice that is speaking to you, and it is not Barnabas. Barnabas is much grimmer, and he doesn't curse either.
I was very excited too, Red Iron.
I do not take you for a fool, Red Iron.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Captain.
You're killing me, Smalls.
All right, while they're having this communication, Zep is still attempting to do what he was going to try to do. So if you will give me a magical roll to see how successful he is, you are at +5 to this roll.
Ooh, I like that.
Here goes a magical roll. That is a 15. Not amazing, but good enough to get some information. So Zep just kind of off to the side. Distant location. There. Yes. A few nearby. And Zep kind of turns over to you while you're having this conversation with everybody and kind of pokes at you a few times. B, I know that you're speaking with your friends, but I have information for you. Do you have a moment?
Of course, Zep. I always have a moment for you. I'll be right back, Amos and Red Iron. And she'll walk
And
off.
B just walks off as the two of you are talking with each other about all the Sylvia nonsense. I have sensed in the distance a few of those outposts I told you about. However, one of them is filled with semi-organic material, but not necessarily sentient in the way that I would expect. But there is something there that interests me. A power source of a kind, similar to what you have provided me before, but more stable. If you wish to go there, that will benefit me greatly, although you and your allies might struggle a little.
I don't want to hurt my friends, Zep.
No, it's not hurting them. It's granting them experience in life and providing them the skills and the know-how to strengthen themselves, survival of the fittest, and all of that.
Well, surviving and being fit and smart are all good things, so I guess that could be a good thing.
Excellent. Well, if you would, I will enter these coordinates into your navigator's terminal. Now, beyond that, there are a couple of other smile locations that I'll point out to you. One, of course, is some sort of outpost that has been repurposed by the dwarves.
Oh.
I believe it's likely the individuals that these fellows here are heading towards at the moment. And the last thing I found, there's some sort of scientific exploration vessel in the area, and I believe that they probably have supplies you could use. Zep marks
Probably.
the locations
And loot.
and loot. Zep marks the locations of where the last known, where he has pointed out, a supply vessel, or not supply, a scientific vessel is located. The rough area where the base is, that these individuals that are traveling in front of you are heading towards, and this unknown ancient outpost.
B will flag Leifei over.
And he takes off his headphones. What's going on, B?
Zep found some places for us. So this one is where the dwarves are, which, I mean, they want to kill us, but Captain Cutlass wanted to go there. So that's where that is. And then this is a scientific vessel, or at least where it was, and they might have some loot and food and all that kind of stuff. So that would be a good one to go after. And also, there's this really cool old place that has a power source that Zep said might be good, but there is some bio, I don't know, something, but it's not smart something. And we could all survive it and get fitter and smarter if we take it over and get the power source.
That third one sounds pretty good. Well, first, of course, the captain told us to follow these guys, so we're going to do that first.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll keep those in. And you said Zep gave you this?
Yeah. He talks to me, and I asked him if he would help. And he did, because he wants us all to be happy and healthy and the best pirates ever.
Leifei, if you'll roll magical for me, being an elf, you can sense things some other individuals might not be able to.
Certainly.
That
It'll be a 5.
is a 5. I'm gonna say not right now. You can't.
He keens in on the Zep talk, looks over towards Red Iron for a moment, then looks at the ship. probably real.
Probably real. And so everybody in the crew is aware. One of the things that I have just done in Aether and Steamworks is there are milestone rewards that will lead towards extra experience and head towards gaining level ups faster than usual. If you go to the biological outpost thingy that B has found, you will gain extra XP, and that'll lead towards a level up faster. Leifei did get a re-roll from Key Monster Art. Ooh, 16 that time. Alright, so Leifei, at this point in time, as you're standing there next to B, you can see the shimmering outline of some sort of magical entity. You've seen these before in the past. You've interacted with Eternals on a smaller degree. There is a weak Eternal attaching itself to B that you can tell now as you're sitting there and focusing and trying to find it. All you can tell is that it is wind-based magic, and that the creature itself doesn't seem to have any control over B, but is definitely tethered to her.
I see. And he's looking at them.
Zep kind of stares at Leifei for a second. Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on him.
I mean, he is my partner in crime, so of course we will. What are you talking about, Zep?
Oh, I'm just making sure that we're clear that all of our allies are kept close at hand, where we can protect and watch and take care of them as necessary.
Captain Cal or Admiral Cal always says to keep your friends close.
He does. And we will now see.
He's gonna look to be. Actually, what's her name? She just said that she's gone now, right? Who's she
Sylvia?
talking to?
We don't really know. She just said she was getting a transmission.
Well, see, I hear transmissions all the time, and the only thing I could possibly think, other than them, and he points off in the direction where the dwarves are, would be someone like them. And points to the Eternal in the room.
Leifei, if you remember when you were originally given an option to check out the radio frequencies before, there was some sort of robotic signal you were running into, strange noises related to that kind of thing. That also might have something to do with it.
And there's this other signal, maybe that.
Like modem noises.
So over the time, he's going to try and pay attention to this as he's going to be navigating them. But he'll ask could you possibly ask Zep about Sylvia?
Of course. Zep, what do you know about Sylvia?
I don't like Sylvia. I don't trust her or it. I don't think it is what it thinks, what everybody here thinks it is. Ulterior motives. They're difficult to deal with. Individuals, beings of that kind of power, you can't trust to not be driving you towards some end goal of their own.
That's kind of what Amos was saying. So Zep thinks the same way Amos does.
Yeah. If you have any other thing that you feel should be stated, Zep, and he's talking to something that's not really there and cannot respond to at all.
It's like when you're looking at an imaginary friend, you're not quite focusing on the right spot exactly.
Actually, this must be incredibly wild because he's just talking to an imaginary friend that somebody else has.
Yep.
Exactly.
If you have anything you want to say ever about this or anything, please.
And Zep just kind of looks over to you. Strange friend. I like him.
So do I.
All right. So at this point, when you look back up from where you're at, Leifei, the ship does seem to be pulling a Yui, slowly turning around and heading back in the direction that it came from. So, Red Iron, you've gone down below. Clarion, you are off on the deck, taking care of people, basically, at this point in time. Everybody else has gone into rest mode. Amos, are you staying on the deck with Lefe at the moment?
Very, very briefly.
Okay.
Amos is going to look over to Lefe, make sure that there's no one else of authority around, and then they are going to just let out a long Lesrin sigh.
Huge boy sigh. Clarion, everybody inside of the room seems to be stabilized at this moment that you're playing during. What do you do once everybody in the medical room is taken care of?
Well, that's a very good question. I think she's going to go over her notes on how the parts of Sylvia that she was like observing when Red Iron had his leg replaced were working, and she's going to start iterating on designs for Robo Bees if she ever gets enough scrap.
Robo Bees. So give me a brains roll. We'll see how much you have determined about Sylvia at the moment first. That's a 9. So that is going to be this is going to be a multi-part invention, basically. Once you've reached a certain goal, then you will attain what you need to make this into an invention of your own. The first step is going to be determining what it was that Sylvia did in this case to create these things. You did get an ace from Annika to reroll.
Thank you.
So let's see if you do better. It's a bit better, 14. The first thing that you feel like you need to do is to isolate some of those. You've noticed some of those little tiny, almost like black sand grains that seem to move of their own accord. You need to isolate one of those, and you need to put it under a microscope. Try to figure out how it works, and then maybe you can emulate some of that technology to a degree. Obviously, Syl technology is far beyond stuff in the Aether sphere, which makes it a lot harder to replicate, but you could do something on larger scale that still does something similar. So that's going to be the first step in this process of making your Robo Bees.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what Clarion is working on. Red Iron, where did you go after this deck discussion? Red Iron.
Red's gonna head down into the engine room. Finally, it's been a minute, and see about assess the absolute chaos and horror that is definitely their own fault, and try to get the engine in a better place, just in case it should become time to disengage Sylvia.
Okay. So you move down to the engine room to try to determine what you might be able to do to take her out of there, if you have to.
Well, and also, yeah, fix the engine, because it seems like it's not, it needs some other work.
Absolutely. Right. So you move down into the engine room. The first thing that you see is that Sylvia has extended parts of itself. It doesn't look like the same technology as the core unit. This is obviously stuff that it has pulled out of the walls and repurposed and made into other stuff, and from your scrap piles and things like that. But there's this lattice work of mechanical parts that looks like a webbing almost all the way through the engine room, making it difficult for you to get in and into your normal positions. You're having to kind of bend into weird angles to access where you normally have been working for such a long time. It's like somebody came into your workshop and then just reorganized everything.
This could have been handled better, I think.
Now, the Archimedes engine still has sections of it that have been damaged in ways that Sylvia couldn't replace or repair very well. Mostly rubber seals and hoses and things like that that have been damaged by the heat need to be replaced and repaired. You do have some spare parts that can do that. Give me a brains roll, and this is a repair roll, so if you have tools handy, those could benefit you. If you're using a very different variety of scrap, that can benefit your roll as well.
I don't have any other varieties of scrap except the low-grade stuff.
So you're at -2 to the repair roll for that. What do you have tool-wise?
I've got a leather maintenance kit, and I've got my, oh, wait a second. I carried, when I created Red Iron, I got some alchemist's glue.
You do have alchemist
I
glue.
have alchemist glue.
You can use that to patch holes.
Can I use that to seal up some of the nastier O-rings, some of the higher heat ones?
Absolutely.
You know?
I will say that will act as if you have an advanced repair kit. So that'll give you a +2 total, even with the
Sweet.
negatives for the. So go ahead and roll brains at +2.
Alrighty, here we go.
Critical
Nah,
failure.
Nuh-uh. I've still got one. I got a backup ace.
You do. Now this is
I got one more
nearing
ace.
the end of the session. You do also have your virtue if you want to use that instead.
I mean, I guess we could argue that Red just really loves grandfather Archimedes and was very happy to hear Archimedes' actual voice instead of Archimedes' liar fake voice from Sylvia.
I have to say that I cannot argue against you using compassion to repair who you consider a grandfather at this point, which is the ship itself.
All right, here we go.
That will let you use your virtue reroll.
Let's do it. Come on, grandfather.
That is a 10. 10 will not do a good repair job. It could potentially become damaged in the future.
Nuh-uh. We're using that ace. This is for grandfather.
Here goes the ace for grandfather Archimedes. There's
Come
an 11.
on!
Well, you still
I have the worst luck. I think.
You still +2 on that, I believe, right?
Yeah, I've got the
so
+2. So that's a 13.
13 is enough with the alchemist glue to create a seal. Another high heat situation will probably burn it right back out, but for now, you've got it in a position where it's fixed. So you take this stuff out,
and then
seals over almost instantly.
And then Red takes some time to carve their section of the workshop out, clipping all the wires and stuff, like removing all that stuff, and then just like shoving it back into the scrap box, and then taking some sort of an adhesive, like a tape or maybe even a marker or some chalk, and then drawing a very clear line.
Like this is my side of the
my section. This is my side of the workshop. That's your side of the workshop.
All right, so you do happen to have some magnetic sealing tape. You could use that as just to define boundaries inside of here if you'd like. And then
Red will use that.
Once you have done that, Sylvia's voice comes back to you, suddenly out of the darkness again.
Red, are you there?
Yes, what's going on, Sylvia?
Aether and Steamworks is here. He's here. We've been searching for so long.
Who?
Aether and Steamworks. Many of you think of it as something greater. I've only heard it referred to in close presence. They call it the Machine God.
I'm going to need a lot of catching up. First of all, step 1, there's a machine god.
With that statement, the revelation of a machine god, and we see the ship moving behind this other one into the distance. We see Clarion moving about the individuals on board the ship and working with grabbing these little kernels of black sand off the ground and putting them into a little bag, whatever. We see Amos.
Petri dish.
Petri dish, there you go. We see Amos like huffing and just having to deal with all this. We see other crewmates slumbering away, and the screen fades to black as tonight's episode of Sparrows has come to an end. Thank you all for watching us tonight. We will be back next week, and I hope that you have enjoyed your time with us. We're going to go around the table. We're going to say, hey, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you like about tonight's episode? And then we'll move on to the next person and the next until the end of tonight's show. I will again do a random roll because I like doing random rolls. And it looks like this time, Nora, you are first. Clarion, why don't you give us your outro, please?
Hello, everybody. I'm Nora at Azedadine in the chat, and I was playing Clarion Bell, your service bot medic tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Azedadine. You can also hear me on the Kobolds and Cornfields podcast, a 5th edition tabletop RPG actual play of the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. and an upcoming arc on the Not Quite Heroes podcast. And I have been guesting with Ruby Hart on their Sunday streams, but I think this weekend's is going to be canceled because neither of us have a working capture card. So catch us another week. And I may be streaming at twitch.tv/Zedadine throughout the week at random moments, and I will post in the Roll for Chaos Discord when that happens.
Well, we look forward to those things with you. What was your favorite scene from tonight? What was your favorite event?
Definitely the flirting comment.
Red Iron's flirting comment. That was a good one. All right, we're gonna move on over.
I literally choked.
It's a good reaction. Move on over to Kai. Leife, your outro, sir.
Well, my name is Kai. I'm playing Leife in this game. And right now there is. This is probably the first time you've heard this in years. There's currently a Halo LAN party at my house.
Halo LAN party. That's lovely.
So there's currently much belligerent yelling. Either way, you can find me on Twitch at Mascane or on Twitter at Real Kairoche. I talk about D&D stuff and Doge right now, but
who's not talking about Doge right now?
But you can also find me on. Oh, right, that got turned into a podcast. Wild times. Times are changing. It's wild. You can find me here tonight.
Here on Fridays. What was your favorite moment from the game tonight, Kai?
You know, I always love Carrot. Like, pretty much everything they do. And I'll probably say Carrot every time. Yeah, I love Carrot. I especially loved him being in the barrel and just like being picked up and just like
that was
warbling around in the sky, and just getting sent along his way. It reminds me of my geckos, or my old geckos when I had them.
Just pick them up by the tail, throw it aside. All right, Benjamin.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, don't throw your geckos by tails, kids. All right, Benjamin, your turn.
Hey everybody, I am TT Benjamin. You can find me at using the Twitter app, the Bird app, at TT Benjamin1. I am the Dungeon Master, producer, etc. for Lawful Great Adventures podcast, a Pathfinder First Edition actual play that has been going strong for over a year. We're about to finish up. God, we've got some huge stuff coming up. So if you want to catch up, you've got like 2 months before we actually hit like the big end of the first campaign. Otherwise, I also play Jaber Valjean on the Shared Experience Ripples in the Gray podcast on Tuesday. Jaber is also a highly disruptive and very strange character, so I guess that's just my thing now. I also have a music podcast where me and two of my music buddies talk about obscure bands that no one's heard of, and it's called You Probably Haven't Heard of Them. So if you want to find some new music that you are definitely going to love, because we have way better taste than everybody, check out You Probably Haven't Heard of Them. Otherwise, statistically, I have guest starred on your tabletop talk show. That's right. Statistically, I have. That's true.
Statistically, you have.
Statistically, I have been on your tabletop talk show.
That is true.
100%.
Roll Charisma. Wonderful show there, run by Glitzengamer and Steven. Shannon Steven. So we'll move on over to Gwen McSherry.
Hi, Gwen McSherry, and I have had the pleasure of playing Bee for almost a month now. She's such a fun character, and this is such a fun game. You can normally find me over in chat, which I've determined is that direction. Moderating and keeping the banhammer available, but not in use all that often. I think my favorite scene tonight, honestly, was Amos launching himself or themselves across the ship to rescue B. That was so well played, Jackal. I loved that. And a close second was Red Iron figuring out what was going on and trying to save Clarion and come up with a way to get Sylvia off the ship and just being met with no's.
That was great. The whole completely unrelated thing. That was completely unrelated. We didn't actually get Benjamin's favorite scene from tonight. Did you have a favorite scene?
Trying to get the subtext across to Amos, and just like big ol' because those two could not be further apart, just from like seeing to eye sort of capacity. So like trying to like Red Iron finally trying to like reach out, and it's just like, no, why would we've never listened to you, why would we now? That felt great.
That's pretty accurate for the Amos and Red Iron relationship. Speaking of Amos, Jackal, your turn.
Point of order, I feel like an absolute dick for that.
It's fine. It's character work, baby. I'm on your team.
I just that scene back there. I just on the one hand, I was and that just I hated that back there. That was a lot of emotional gymnastics for me. You monster. Hi, I'm Jackal. I play Amos Descendi, the security officer, and a parent,
Apparent. You know, part of that could probably be blamed on the fact that you had used an emotional bulldozer in the scene prior. In the following scene, your character was basically just a mess.
When is Amos not a mess? Oh, God. Oh, man. Favorite scene. Favorite scene was definitely... Oh, geez, I'm coming down from that last one. Probably just be in Amos. Just she doesn't think that the crew gives her enough. Amos is just trying to make sure that the job gets done, and just I don't stream. I don't have social media, but occasionally you can see me on Roll for Charisma. Getting shot at, blown up, all that. Later, folks.
Jackal does our recap at Roll Charisma, and it's always a blast. Well, I am Ty, a lot even star on Twitter. On Twitch, I'm Lot Even Star Art, where you can see me do drawings and things like that. And of course, I am the producer and artist over here at Roll for Chaos with all these lovely and wonderful people. Come check out more of our shows. We have this show every Friday, except for the third week of the month, for all of our shows. Every Friday at 5:30 Pacific Time, 8:30 Eastern. I don't ever do it that way. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's right. And then, of course, we have Roll Charisma on Tuesdays, also 5:30 Pacific. And then we have Dreams of Silver and Stone at 6 Pacific on Thursdays. So check out all of those amazing shows here on our channel. Check out our Discord. And keep an eye on our calendar for upcoming events. We have a bunch of one-shots coming soon. We've got random moments where we play things or do streams or whatever, whenever we feel like doing the variety thing. But other than that, we appreciate each and every one of you out there in the audience. We really love having you here and doing some entertaining things for you and hoping that you enjoy that as well. And we will see you next time. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.